are back with another episode of the VYPE podcast. I'm Will Turboff. As always, I'm joined by Tinley Kane. But we've got a little switch. We switched out our Roberts. Usually you would be hearing Robert Gonsolin, and this week we have Strake Jesuit wide receiver Robert Smith. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, we had a huge week. 5A and 6A playoffs started. There's going to be some huge matchups in Division 1, so let's go ahead and get that started. So, Cy-Fair beat down Westside. Most of these D1 games were blowouts, let's be honest here.
I mean, we can also agree D2 was a pretty big blowout as well. But yeah, keep going on with D1.
Yeah, so Cy-Fair is going to play Tompkins. Robbie, you're talking about how you know Jalen Milroe committed to Alabama. So just kind of talk about like who you think's going to win that game and how you think he's going to play.
Yeah, that's like I said. That's two programs going up against each other. Big time players on both sides of the ball. I know people at both schools, but you know, when it comes down to it, the season that Tompkins has had, I've been to a couple of their games, and my boy Drew is a captain on the defensive side, going to Air Force. You know, I don't see them stopping anytime soon. I think it's gonna be a great game. I think it's gonna be a hard out, you know, just back and forth. But at the end of the day, I put faith in my boys at Tompkins to pull that one out.
Yeah, we probably have like a little bit further down on Region 3. We probably got like the biggest game, not only in the second round, but maybe until we get to about the semifinals between North Shore and Dawson. You were still playing when we played Dawson, right? So. You saw that defense.
I did.
I'm pretty sure we didn't score. We scored like what?
I had the only touchdown.
Yeah. So you know, what do you think about North Shore's? I said North Shore's going to win it all.
Hey, and mind you, you've been really proud of the people of Dawson. So like,
yeah,
this is an interesting game for you.
Right.
Yeah. Both these teams are undefeated.
Yeah.
So like, who's going to give here?
Dawson has opened up people's eyes a whole lot this season. Basically showing people what they've been preaching their whole 4 years. Because, you know, I know Jaden, the running back, Blake, David, Jordan, all of them over there at Dawson. But, you know, Shad and Demetrius at North Shore, you know, that combo, Charles, all of them. It's just North Shore at the end of the day. But Dawson defense is real. Like, you know, you got to give them their credit. You got to give their sophomore quarterback credit, too. And that duo back there with the backfield is dangerous with Torrance and Jaden. So, last year they put up 35 on them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You really got to fear the nest here.
So it's but I still got to go with North Shore.
Yeah, I honestly think that they do have that repeat mentality. There's nothing stopping that at that point, but it will for sure be a game to watch.
Yeah,
and I'm curious.
Yeah, we were talking about an episode didn't end up getting published a few weeks ago. We made some predictions for the state championship, and I said this was before.
The schedule had been released.
Yeah, so I said it was going to be North Shore and Westlake. It was just going to be repeats of last year. And now it looks like North Shore and Westlake, if they're going to play each other, it's going to be
earlier.
In the semifinals.
Yeah.
It's like that'd be a crazy game to see.
No doubt.
A little bit further down, it's going to be Bel Air and Jersey Village. Village won that one, 52-0. They're going to play Ridge Point next week. Ridge Point won against Seven Lakes. Seven Lakes, I'll give it to them. They had a good season.
They did,
yeah.
Especially for volleyball since they are now state champions. So congratulations to Seven Lakes girls volleyball team. I'm curious to see Jersey Village, Ridge Point. I mean, you guys played Ridge Point.
Yeah, my boy Bert, BJ, he's a quarterback over there. You know, we played them actually. It was kind of like a scrimmage in the last game of the year, but in the regular season. But we played them in the first half. They got a good team over there. JP, their wideout. He's crazy, big, fast, good hands, all of that. I think Ridge Point actually has one of the easiest paths to go far, and you know, I think they have the team to do it this year. They have a lot of motivation with all that stuff going on over there. But I do see my boy taking their team a long way, but I got Ridge Point in that one.
Yeah, you said they have an easy.
Yeah, I was looking. We're checking the schedule.
They're either gonna play
Atascocita.
I was talking to Cam Dewberry a few days ago, and it's like crazy. That District 21, that's the best district.
That's definitely like competition.
So they were a runner-up. They had to play Dobie. And, you know, District 22 is not that stacked of district, and they came in and they beat them by like 40.
Yeah.
And then Pearland, who you know I know you've played for years, they barely got Clear Springs.
Yeah, exactly.
44-37. Yeah, that's a really close one out of all the games.
I was shocked when their defense let up all those points, but that's going to be interesting. I think Attached Cedars' offense is just crazy this year. They got all the weapons they need, so that Attached Cedar game, I think it's going to go to Attached Cedar easy.
Yeah, outside of the Houston area, I mean, pretty much the usuals winning. Rockwall, Duncanville, Skyline barely got it. But Lake Travis, who usually goes pretty far, they've won a few state championships. They actually lost to Round Rock by 2 touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then the other Austin team that I always like to talk about, Westlake, for most of I think they gave up like 13 points the whole season.
Yeah.
They're insane.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to have an interesting playoff run for sure. Moving on to District 2 of 6A, also, like we mentioned, they're pretty big blowouts, you would say. We had an interesting one. So there were a lot of games that couldn't happen this week due to COVID, unfortunately. That sucked. So we had George Ranch and Katie Taylor. Ultimately, George Ranch had a forfeit, so their season ended up pretty short. I think they would have had a decent playoff run. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, who's to say? Also, we had Katie, who had a bye pretty much because Elkins couldn't play as well. They had to forfeit. I mean, I think we could agree that they would have probably won that game as well. We also have Lamar beating Memorial 39-7. That's an interesting one for the inner loop Houston.
Yeah, Lamar has been on a streak of like losing in the first round every year.
People at Memorial thought they were going to go through and steamroll them.
Yeah, I saw the Memorial team a few weeks ago. I kind of thought, they're impressive. That they still have some weaknesses on offense. They've got a really good running back though, but Lamar's got some. Yeah, they got a deep roster.
They do.
Unfortunately, they're playing Katie,
yeah.
so. It was a great playoff run for them, I'll give it to them, to say the least. I could be wrong. We never know. But let it be known they are playing Katie this week. Yeah,
we talked to Jay Jensen a few weeks ago, and he said, I think Katie's going D2.
Yeah.
And we're like, no way.
We could. He was right.
Yeah.
Even before the schedule was released.
Yeah.
Along with the other teams in District 2, we have Shadow Creek. Kind of destroying Clear Creek 55-6. They will be playing CE King, who ultimately beat Channelview 56-0. So also great game right there.
Yeah, let's talk about that game a little bit more because Robert and I have a guy on CE King, Cameron Kinchion. He puts up crazy numbers every week. He had like 3 rushing touchdowns last week, and he's a quarterback. And Kyron Jones.
Yep.
So and you played both those guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You said, you were talking about how like that defense on CE King let up and why you think Creek's going to win.
I don't know. I just watching Creek, or not even watching, but being on the same field as him and being on the same field as CE King too is just knowing the guys over there at Creek. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder this year, and for the first time in forever, they're underdogs. And, I think they're going to use that to their advantage. But CE King, you got to give respect to them. Their offense, they got people who can score, a real just good offense. And then their defense, they went on a streak, I think, for a couple of weeks with like let up 3 points or something like that. So I think it's going to be 2 really high-powered offenses and 2 really stout defenses. And but I don't see Creek going out that early. I got Creek in that one for sure.
Yeah, and then something that hits a little too close to home. Strake Jesuit took a loss last week to Clear Falls. That was a close one, though.
It was. That out of all games, that was a very close game, being 21-16.
Yeah, it was tough to go out like that, but my boys fought. It was tough, being sidelined for that, but you live and you learn. It all happens for a reason. So.
And then we would have had the chance, Westbrook wins. Another team that's like crazy that they're runner-up.
Yeah.
I think they were actually like the 4th best team in 21, which is crazy because in almost any other district they're going to be top 2.
Yep.
So they beat Pasadena Memorial, which was actually kind of Westbrook had a up and down season. They lost to some out of district teams, but we got them against Clear Falls.
I think that's. I got respect for the boys at Clear Falls for sure, but Bryce, he does some special things, so I think that's a cool little dub for Westbrook.
Yeah, so before we make some more predictions for next week, while we have you here, we just want to ask some questions about
of course.
About you and like how you got into football and I think you got some plans.
Yeah, yes sir.
So your dad has been in the game forever.
Mm-hmm.
He was the GM of the Texans for a little bit over 10 years. Yeah. And I talked to you before the season started, and you were talking about how Andre Johnson is someone that you've always looked up to.
Yeah.
Have you talked to him in the past few months, and has he been giving you advice on stuff?
No, actually, I've spoken to Hop a little bit. Spoken to JJ. It's a lot going on during the season, so it's hard. But I got a pretty good source at my house with my dad too. So,
to say the least.
Yeah, just that's my go-to for real. So
yeah, and I don't want to talk about your dad all that much, but he was on Schefter's podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it seems like maybe this is a good time. And I know you're not going to give us any information that's not already out there, but has that both of you guys are going through this process of what the next step is. How's that been?
It's been a crazy couple of years, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Of course, he took his leave of absence when my mom got sick, and then she passed 2 years ago, or coming up on 2 years, breast cancer. And so he signed his extension through until I graduated high school, and so he didn't really have to get back into nothing until I graduated, and then then he'll start. But teams are calling. Atlanta's in the mix. Detroit, there's a whole bunch of options. So, I think he'll be getting back into it pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and I was saying that it looks like you haven't really said anything. It's all been kind of cryptic recently. But it sounds like you've been getting some interest from a couple colleges.
Yeah. I've been just laying low with that. Season's still going on, playoffs. So I didn't want to keep it all the attention on me. So, but yeah, there's the Arizona State and Maryland, of course. Those are really my top two options right now. So I don't think I'll be signing on Wednesday, but I'll definitely be signing. I think my goal is February 4th. So we'll see. I think I'll probably be committing on the anniversary of my mom's passing on January 31st. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
How has the recruiting process been throughout COVID? I'm just curious, hearing from your side of things.
I mean, it sucks for our class, for class 2021.
It's been a tough one for sure. We could all agree. It's
been very rough because it's for one, coaches usually can come out and watch you.
Absolutely.
They can come to games, but coaches can't come on planes anymore and come watch you. So it's really only the local colleges that can come and see you. And then it's been a dead period since last March. So
and they keep extending it sometimes for certain sports.
It's all the way out in April, I'm pretty sure, for football, right, or for all sports. So nobody can go on any visits. So you get a new offer or something like that, you can't even go down to the school. So a lot of kids out there are just blind committing, just without even going to the school. Taking virtual visits.
That doesn't give you the real feel
at all.
No.
Yeah, you remember one of our first episodes we talked to Max Merrill. He played for Strake.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, in around April or May, he was getting these offers from Strake guys always get offers from Harvard and Army and Air Force. And that was starting to ramp up, and he was getting Power 5 offers. He got Indiana, and he got Vanderbilt or something, and then he got UT. And without even thinking about it, 2 days later, he went ahead and he knew it.
He also mentioned though that throughout the whole dead period, he got better and more comfortable with talking and interviewing process. What throughout the dead period have you improved on? You can say
it's touching on what he said. It's a lot of Zoom calls, it's a lot of FaceTimes, it's a lot of being on the phone with these coaches, and so you have to know how to speak. You got to know the right things to say. And, you're texting, everything is on your phone, so you got to know how to present yourself the right way without being in person. You can't walk up to them and have whatever size Matt would be 6'5" and be a big guy, and they're like, wow, we love you. So it's but I don't know. For me personally, I've gotten better with staying patient. Because I've always been wanting just to have it all come right now. I want to go to this school. I want to go to this school. I want this school to talk to me. You know what I mean? But I've learned to just let it come in because it all happens the way it's supposed to. And so just to be patient really is just what I've been working on. Not rushing anything or comparing or any of that stuff. Just going down my path. So that's what I've been working on for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier how, Strake, we had a pretty early loss in the playoffs, first round. Last year we had kind of a magical run.
Yeah.
Dylan had that crazy game against, Dylan Campbell had that, 6 touchdown game? 7 against Westbrook.
Yeah.
I ended up losing in NRG, but you were talking about how there's a lot of strong juniors and there's a lot of strong sophomores. So what direction do you think that team's headed in?
Man, every year I think people are always like, okay, since that class is gone, that senior class is gone, it's done for Strake. Strake is over. But cool. We have a joke with the captains. We were sitting in our meeting over the summer, and Max asked who the quarterback was going to be, and Coach Kubiak, without disclosing any information, was like, for the past however many years I've been here, whatever quarterback I put out on the field has been first team all district. Mm-hmm. And so, whatever, I got faith in Coach Kubiak and our coaches to put everybody in the right position that they need to be in. And so, I have high expectations next year. We have, especially my guys, my wide receivers, my young bucks, Holden, Will, Leland, all of them. They're going to handle business. We got Joe coming back, Bryce coming up as a quarterback, Watch Connor this year. Our defense, we got some old D linemen coming back. Craig, Gavin, Evan, Ford, all of them. So I got high hopes for them. I think they should make a run next year. I think they should go handle business and do what they said that they're going to do. I got faith.
Yeah, really. I mean, I wasn't on the team, but just the whole kind of Strake Jesuit athletic community. It seemed like for the first year and quite a few years, it was like, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be.
Yeah.
Because we got Bryce Fukic and Bedkin. So next year, there's been a senior quarterback at Strake Jesuit for quite a few years now. You think that streak's gonna end next year, maybe?
Yeah. We don't have any. I don't know. I think they would definitely battle it out, but I'm pretty sure Bryce would end up being the quarterback. But I think whoever Coach Kubiak puts out there is going to get the job done.
Definitely. What would you hope to leave after this season ended very short for you guys, sadly, but what do you hope as a senior to leave for your younger wide receivers?
Especially after I got hurt and I couldn't be out there, really leading by example. Mm-hmm. I was in practice and I was working on little things with them, stances, routes, footwork, all of that. And the one thing I just wanted them to know is just that, or one thing I wanted to leave with them is just my knowledge of the game, passing it down to them, because there's a lot of things that everybody has different perspectives about, different ways of doing things, different ways of doing that. And so just that they know that they can come to me for whatever, and just how they watch me work. I just wanted to make sure that when they watch me, they saw an example that they could follow. And so whether that be practice and warm-ups or during the game, keeping my head up whenever something bad happens, mm-hmm. or whether it be in a meeting in the film room and watching enough film, just whatever it was, I just wanted to make sure I was doing it because I knew they were watching. And so, and there's a lot of people always watching, so I always wanted to carry myself with that, knowing that in the back of my head that I'm setting the right example for my young bucks coming up behind me.
Well, that's great, and we're sorry that you couldn't finish out your season. Yeah. I'll be there when you sign, whenever you decide to sign. We really appreciate you coming on and just talking through the whole show.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you.
But I don't think we're done here because we said we were going to do some predictions about who's going to win.
He's not leaving just
game.
yet.
Right. Yeah. So how about D1? Who you got in all of D1? I know I said North Shore and Westlake are probably going to meet each other in the semis, but who do you got taking the whole thing?
I think it's definitely going to come back to Houston. In my opinion, I think it's going to come down to North Shore and Tompkins.
Yeah, that's the answer right there.
Yeah, I
a little bit biased.
I think it's going to come down to North Shore and Tompkins and
yeah, they'd play each other.
Oh yeah,
both these teams would probably, Dawson's going to put up a good fight.
Yeah.
But Tompkins and North Shore will probably play each other next week.
Third
round. Yeah. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be
without a doubt. And so whoever comes out of that one, I think is going to.
That's definitely your state winner easily.
Yeah.
I honestly think though, this whole mentality with Tompkins, we've mentioned before with these new established schools. We have Tompkins, we have Bridgeland, we have Katie Taylor. All these are just taking over what the older schools have had of it. I think, would you agree though, saying Cy Fair has been historically going for a
you usually start there and
so it's like
Katie,
old school versus new school with that. I
Yeah.
think it's so interesting to see all these like new upcomers just taking it in. And I feel like Tompkins could take it with like, I think Jalen Milrose leading that team fairly well this season with like that whole demeanor going from UT, Alabama. He's ready.
Yeah.
Like I see him definitely taking it for them.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Division One. Tompkins is like, you know, like that new age team. Dawson.
Yeah.
Dawson was like the other team for some reason. Really, up until this year, they were always like the other team in Fairland.
Yeah.
And then Shadow Creek. It's
Yeah.
like, who would have thought Shadow Creek would have gone? And even I was saying like, well, you know, they're going from 5A to 6A. They're not going to do anything. this year.
Right.
Yeah.
And they come out and they lost a few games kind of early because they
They're getting
wanted to
used to it.
schedule a North Shore game. Maybe that wasn't the best decision.
Just to get out of the way, out of their
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
I probably prepped them for this like playoff run since they were
Yeah.
coming from 5A. Now they're moving up to 6A. I think it could have been a smart move for them to get ready in the beginning of the season, take that L first off, and then
Yeah.
head towards a bigger picture per
And,
se.
and a team, another one of those new age teams we didn't talk about earlier in Division 2 is Bridgeland.
Yeah.
Bridgeland is undefeated. And
Yeah.
They're playing Decaney. I think they're probably going to win that one.
And we were wrong. We had mentioned previously that they were going to lose to Cy-Fair.
Yeah, we said Bridgeland has no reason
They
to
have
send
no
their
reason
starters
to
out.
win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come out and they pretty much destroyed
Yeah,
Cy-Fair
they've
for the
got a
most
junior
part.
quarterback. He's cold from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, the
He's real.
school's only been around for 3-4 years, so it's insane to see like the records they've put up, especially this season.
Both of them was actually Goffney and Crippen. One's a tight end, one's a wideout. Goffney's going to SMU. They've done a really, really good job leading that team. And Bryce, they got a DB over there going to SMU too. But Bridgeland, like, they're real.
No, yeah.
People sleep on them, but they're real. Like, I look out for them for sure.
It's like they're underdogs, but they're undefeated. I
Exactly.
don't
Yeah.
understand this dynamic,
People
but I'm
know who
here
they
for
are.
it. I love it.
Like Bridgeland, like
They're like,
where is
ooh,
that?
but
Yeah.
if you look at their record, you see the stats they put up. I mean, they're top tier for
Yeah,
sure. They're
yeah.
definitely hanging in there with Katie and the Shadow Creek. So I mean,
I also like Klein Kane.
Yeah, wow.
I
Yeah,
love
Klein
Klein
Kane is another
Yeah.
one of those teams that
Yeah.
never gets talked about.
Yeah, but they're definitely gonna make some noise this year. Matthew, that's my guy over there too. So yeah, watch out for Klein Kane for sure.
So who do you have coming out of D2?
D2, man.
Ooh.
D2 is such a. Last year, D2 wasn't what it is this year.
No,
like,
sure
at
not.
all. You know, like we just said, Creek, Katie's in D2. Bridgeland, I'm pretty sure Klein Kane is D2 or is it D1?
Klein Kane, I think they're D1.
They're
I think.
D1, yeah.
D1.
So, but I don't know. I think Katie, I think will get there. Does Katie would play Shadow Creek next week, right?
Katie-
No, they'll
they
play Lamar.
Well, this week, yeah. This
Oh, yeah.
week they're playing Lamar, and next week they play King or Shadow Creek.
Yeah.
So they'll come out of there, and then I think the winner of that game will play Bridgeland, and then I think that will come back to Houston too. I think both state championships are coming back to H-Town.
Yes, the championship of so Bridgeland is probably going to end up going against Tomball Memorial.
Yeah, and I don't see Bridgeland getting stopped until
Yeah.
they have to face either Katie or Creek. But I don't know. Katie's a different team this year too. Katie has a really good quarterback. So they've had a new idea, but they've always been a ground and pound team. They have two monsters running back too. So we'll see what they.
I mean, that's another
And
old.
it's
old
crazy,
team.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
the main reason that the most media attention that Katie got this year was from losing to Tompkins.
Yeah.
Like we were always talking about Katie as like, oh, look who Katie beat up this week.
Yep.
No,
They
their
lost.
highlight
It was
story.
the first district loss in like 13 years,
Yeah, it's
right?
a long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tompkins is the new red of Katie officially. That is what like headlines were writing, and I mean, I completely agree with that whole statement. So I think, honestly, with this district or this whole like D2 area, I think Shadow Creek or Bridgeland should be the ones to.
I'll give it up to Kyron and the whole team there. I doubted him. I just think that's crazy that you could go from 5A and within 3 years you lose to they lost to Highland Park 2 years ago and they won last year, and now taking on some crazy teams.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, I'll give it. But I do think Katie's gonna get another one here.
I'll take a shocker and say Bridgely.
Oh.
I'll take a shocker and say Bridgely.
Yes, these new kids on the block are really making an impact.
But like, here's the thing though, Bridgeland hasn't faced that much competition recently. I mean, like they did play Sci-Fair. That was like one of their more recent competitors, but like they haven't had a tough season. Like from what I know.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious how they're gonna handle playoffs.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
well,
they didn't play a Kyron Creek. I'll give them that. And
yeah.
people credit that to Creek. They didn't have Kyron, but I don't know. They got a spark in their eyes. I see that. I see them going far. I see them going to state. I see them going to Dallas.
Yeah, they have that mentality.
Simple.
Undefeated.
Yep, exactly.
Might as well keep it up for state.
Exactly.
Just imagine a perfect season.
Yeah,
that's insane. They have a potential to do it. So
yeah, it's like going that progress of like how I was just talking about Shadow Creek. It's like these new schools. That's just I know I keep talking about it, but like these new schools developing talent, and it's taken schools like 40 and 50 years to get a really good
to really
team.
establish their name.
And they're like the kids that always went to Pearland and had a really good team. They're like, well, let's get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
The kids that went to Manville were like, let's use like the new facilities they got. They got a new coach, a new field, and look what they've done.
Yep, no doubt.
I think it's interesting though, even as like taking it from like an athlete's perspective. Let's say like for example, you go to Katy, like what makes you want to go switch it over to go and play at Tompkins? I mean, like there's no name, there's no status at that point. So like, what are you playing for? And I just think it's so curious, like how people are willing to go to these schools and just like make an amazing reputation for those schools too.
Yeah, and I think Jalen, no matter what he does in college, and he probably will make an impact.
Oh,
there,
easily.
But he's always going to have, like, people are always going to respect him down here.
No doubt.
Because he, not like he built that program, but
he helped.
No matter what they do in the playoffs, this is an amazing run.
Hometown legend.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so that'll be definitely something fun to watch.
Well, some of these games will probably have already happened by the time this comes out.
So
we'll be back next week. There's going to be some even bigger games next week. Once again, I want to thank you, Robert, for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Definitely a fun time.
Yeah, it was.
We had the Robert 2.0.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll have Gonsalves back on, but we may need to keep you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, we never know.
I'm here. Always available.
All right, for Robert Smith, for Tinley Kane, I'm Will Servoff, and we'll see you next week.
Thank y'all.